Hey guys, welcome back to the channel. It's a J Gemini. Today, super excited to go ahead and bring you a sort of comparison, sort of review between these two lights. You have the reigning EDC champ, the S2R Baton, and then you have the brand new, fresh off the press, Warrior Mini. So having this light for so long and then seeing a lot of features in this light that I liked, I wanted to actually go to bring it on film, or video rather, and actually kind of go in and compare what I like about these two lights. And at the end of the day, even though it might seem simple, which one really comes out as the preferred EDC choice. So I'm going to do the hard work for you so you guys don't have to. We're really close to 100 subscribers, so I appreciate if you do like the video, please like, subscribe. I love reading your comments, answering any questions or any suggestions. So, without further ado, let's go ahead and jump right in. First, with these lights, I wanted to go in and get some specs out of the way. So, we have the S2R Baton, or S2R Baton II, sorry, that's just the nickname everybody calls it. And then we have the Warrior Mini. Beam distance, you can see a definite increase with the Warrior. Lumens as well, you do see an increase. We'll actually go and get into what that means in practical EDC. Moonlight, we actually see it doubles. While a lot of the other stats, the low mode, the mid mode, and the high, well, the high does increase slightly, but they're very similar. And then, of course, you see that max turbo going ahead and increasing quite a bit over here. Weight does increase a little bit over the Mini Warrior, as well as the MSRP, just $10. So, with that fun stuff out of the way, I'm going to jump right into the comparison. So what I like about both of these lights so much is just their sort of target for being a very powerful light, kind of like the only light you would ever need, essentially. You get a lot of power, you also get a lot of usability. Well, there's a lot of lights that come with these sort of upper power numbers that might not have the ability for moonlight, which is big for me. So that's actually where I'm going to go ahead and start with this review, is moonlight, because that's one of my favorite features that I use on Olights. So the moonlight on this is half a lumen on the Baton, while the Warrior is actually, and I'm glad you can kind of actually see it, is actually 1 lumen. So you can see that it's a little bit more bright. And at first, and in practice even, I thought, I really wish they stuck with the lower output. You see, I have a baby, and just walking around the house, in the middle of the night, turning that on, trying to go in there, he's crying, trying to search for a pacifier. If I'm going to do a nighttime feed so he doesn't wake up at 4 in the morning screaming, wake us up. So, I'll do like a top off, if you will, in nighttime feeding. It's easier to go around and not wake him up with a lower power light. But in practice, what I actually found, which is really cool, is I'm glad they did double the output because of this. This might not be, everybody uses this, but I actually have this diffuser, this red diffuser. It's made for low light to not be, red is a color that actually is less, what would you say, picked up by the human eye, I guess. That's why they use it in tactical situations, but also, it can be really good to not disturb wildlife and, to not break your night vision. If you turn this on a little brighter at the same brightness of other lights, and you turn it off, your night vision isn't completely reduced and has to reset over like 5-10 minutes like a white light or a yellow light would. So long story short is that I found that in the middle of the night, this cuts this down enough that I'm able to essentially put it right in front of the baby's face as he's sleeping around his crib, not like shine it at his face, of course, but just be able to find things easy, not wake him up. While if you put it on the Baton, it basically was unusable on the moonlight mode. So I actually found there's a lot of utility to be able to use things like this that maybe this didn't have. Otherwise, going ahead and getting into some other differences is the length. Not too much of a difference, but I do like having a little bit of extra room to put your thumb on. As you can also see right here, there is quite a difference in milling. I pointed this out and somebody did right away, that the fact is that this milling is sort of like bi-directional, this way or this way grips, while this really grips up and down, but side to side it seems to be able to rotate. Now again, you're not really rotating in the hand, I guess. So, I mean, it's really, I would probably just say whatever you actually prefer. Now, the point that you can see here is there is a little bit of a difference in finish. This is a bit of more of a matte and a warmer color, more of a matte, lighter color, while this is more reflective and a dark color. An interesting story, when I got this light originally, it had a top like this, but it had more of like a warmer, glossier, slicker chocolate brown on the bottom. And I just felt like, knowing that I've had so many Olights that have matched, it just wasn't up to my standard. I'm not going to pay a company that what they do right so many times and be okay because it's a tool to, you know, basically mismatch, right? I keep my stuff nice. I've had this for about 6 months. It's not all scratched up or anything like that. So I expect it to look nice out of the box and everything like that. So they took care of me with the warranty, really great warranty process. I got in contact with someone named Olight Chloe on their Facebook group. She ended up going ahead and having me send this light back to Georgia. And then while that was happening, she sent me another light out. I ended up getting it in the mail, so I didn't really wait too long. So that's really good on Olight. They have great warranty and customer service. Again, there's not too much to talk about when it comes to the mid-range. Again, they're almost identical on both. The high, I think you could definitely tell a difference. Again, like I was going to mention, it kind of comes back to what is that usable practicability that you're going to be using the turbo that much. And that's where these two lights really sort of, I wouldn't say differ, because you could use this for self-defense, but especially where it goes ahead and starts to take off a little bit with the Warrior is the fact that you have the tail cap while you just have the magnet on the baton. The way that tail cap works is you give a light press, it's momentary on, momentary off. If you tap it, it turns on to the mid mode of 120 lumens. If you go full, that's turbo, 1500 lumens. And you get the side button that I actually really like in operation, but it's nice to just have that. The other cool thing that I really like about the baton that you don't have an option with the with the Warrior that you don't have with the baton is the fact that I can go moonlight as a preset, but then when I walk my dogs, I usually on this and on this put it on. No, sorry, that's one thing. It is very easy to accidentally skip past the mid mode. You almost have to be conscious, which is probably a good thing for a self-defense type situation. But again, let's try that again. So I'm in moonlight and I tap to 120 and I turn it off. If I tap this again, it doesn't reset to 120, it keeps my original mode. So you can actually have two different light modes, the preset 120 or turbo, and then you could have either 15 or moonlight or whatever you're running on here. So I do like that. That actually has a practical usability that saves some time, as long as you don't accidentally turn on turbo, have to turn it off, have to, you know, think about actuating, so on and so forth. Getting down to the weight, you know, really not noticeable. They're so close. The price, again, I think is super fair for what you're going ahead and getting some upgrades. Some differences that I also did notice is the fact that this comes with a lanyard in the box, but doesn't have a lanyard tube here. Again, I really haven't used this in a practical situation. I do have something, sort of a little project coming, which I kind of wish that this did have on this. So I could put what I'm going to do or maybe mod on here. But again, not the biggest deal in the world. Pocket clips are the same, as you can see. Also, I've noticed that it seems like this is the case on most of them, that the button is way more at the top than this, that you have to go down a little bit in the light before it clicks. And I've also found that, oh no, you actually can see it there. I'm clicking it at the same time. The computer processor or whatever they have, microchip in here, it just comes on faster than this. And that happened with the other low light generation. When you went to the original Baton S1, that I had in copper. You clicked it, you had to hold, it cycled through the light slow, it would turn on slower. This was faster than that. I was like, wow, that's like instant. This is like, wow, it's really instant. So that is also an improvement. They're definitely making small little improvements over time when they're building these lights, even though they're quite similar. Now, some of the negative things that I've found, not really actually negative, but you know, this is got this crenulated bezel. There might be legal, depending on, you know, where you are. Could this really hurt anybody? I really don't think so. What are you gonna do like that and annoy somebody? I don't know. But it's kind of cool having that tactical look and all that stuff. And you know, I like the black, you know, but I don't mind the blue as well. It's kind of a nice little charming feature. It's whatever you like. One thing that is a definite detractor on the Warrior and not on the Baton is this shape of this sort of triad point. Essentially, what I found is two things. The magnet on this is extremely strong, which I'm happy because I didn't think this was going to have a magnet on it for whatever reason. I thought the charge would have a magnet, but not this, and I would lose that capability. The complete opposite. This has an ultra strong magnet. I actually took this big whopping, you know, 6-ounce ZT, and the magnet is so strong, I can just show it to you here, that essentially it was pulling from like an inch away and making it turn. So the magnet is very, very strong on this, definitely less strong than on the Baton. And essentially, it's almost kind of a nuisance because I have walked by and I have found the fact that this is attaching to stuff, and I'm like, okay, that's kind of annoying. The other fact that's a really big negative about this is the fact that, like, with this flat surface and the magnet, this is plenty strong enough to hold onto something. You could like put it on the side of the refrigerator in the middle of the night, either with the red cap or just on moonlight, and like clear off the dinner table without having to have the possibility of a light shining through, waking people up, or you know, going to the baby's room. While with this, because there's less distribution of the surface area here, or whatever you would say, it basically kind of leans down and then it just slowly slides down like one of those toys in the 90s that were the bugs that would flip down until they go to the bottom. And there's basically no way to fix that. You try to turn it, adjust it, and it just does it every time. So there is some utility, long story short, taken away with that design. And the stronger magnet also, I'm not a fan necessarily, just for the fact that, like, if you're wearing a watch like this automatic SKX, they are susceptible to being magnetized because they have, you know, little gears and springs and a ton of other things that are going back and forth, and it can actually mess up the timing, making them go super fast and lose time, and dangerous to hurt the watch over time. And with such a strong magnet that it's pulling a knife across the table or always accidentally connecting to my EDC gear, I'm always a parent that if, the baby likes to play with the light with a little red light on the top, you know, while he's feeding or something, just look at it. I know we're already getting him addicted, right? But, I'm always wary if he's waving that around and it's getting close to my watch. I'm like, oh God, I got to be paranoid with that type of stuff, which I never ever felt with this. So again, these might be minor gripes that you might not even notice, but just I wanted to kind of give a rundown of both of the features of these lights, really quick, easy packaged. A lot of stuff is very similar. I don't have to reinvent the wheel here necessarily. So it kind of poses the question of which one of these really is the better light for EDC. Well, for EDC, you can't go wrong with this because what you're doing is you're taking a lot of features from this light and just upgrading them. Again, if you're using it for self-defense, I think the clear winner is definitely the Warrior, hence the name, hence what it's designed for, you know, the whole crenulated, but, you know, you get it. Do I think that this light is the upgrade to this light or the replacement and they will do away with this? I don't necessarily think that's the case. They are extremely similar, and like some people were pointing out, I do think that they should have, to even distinguish it more, put the clip on the bottom so you could run it tail cap down if they were really saying it was a tactical emergency light, and then just have the convenience to switch the mode after you get it out of your pocket. and have you choose. Again, I don't know why they did that. Hopefully some aftermarket manufacturer makes a clip that runs down and comes around or clamps on or something without people having to drill or modify their lights. But that being said, I don't think that it's going to replace the S2. I think they'll probably come out with another version of this light, hopefully upgraded. I don't know if it'll be more powerful or more short, or if they'll just keep repeating this recipe that they're doing. I'm not really quite sure what Olight's plans are for that. But essentially, you know, if you're wanting it for the EDC and you're not necessarily going to use this and you're not really about defense or anything, this light for me, honestly, I used it on the first 3 modes, moonlight, low, and medium. I hardly ever use the high. So if you're like that and using it for common EDC, you could save yourself the $10 and not really gripe, and you could also have the benefit of the half lumen to make it easier for unadjusted eyes. If you are more so into, if I got into a situation, would I defend myself with a light and then try to, you know, escape or get away? You're a part of that lifestyle, or you're just like a lumen head and you're like, oh, I gotta have the max and the smallest package, then yeah, this is clearly going to be the light for you. Definitely something that the $10 I think is worth for sure. And again, I don't know if I'm going to necessarily get rid of this light because I have this light. I might just keep them both and just sort of put them into different rotations and stuff like that, and maybe throw this in a vehicle. I'm not really quite sure. But long story short, so it doesn't go too long, that's essentially it. That's what's different between the two lights. They both have their place, in my opinion. They're both amazing products because they are Olights. And if there is anything wrong with your light, they also have that great warranty like I was talking about. So I hope you enjoyed the video. Definitely more to come. Videos like this, first flashlight review, so let me know how I did in the comments below. I hope you enjoyed it. If you did, again, we're very close to 100 subscribers. Going to hit that subscribe button, the like, the little bell. I'm not uploading all the time, so it's not going to annoy you. Hope to go in and upload more over time here as we get into the swing of things. Of course, I can't thank you enough for your support and just viewing the video. I hope you have a great rest of your day and be safe. Peace.